Let's move on to exercise 10b, right? Question number 2, part A. What does it say? Find the values of the unknowns in each of the following rectangles, right? So we are given this rectangle ADCB, or you can read it as ABCD, right? So before solving this question, let me first remind you the properties of rectangle, right? The properties of rectangle are that opposite sides are equal in length and they are parallel, right? So this one is opposite to this one, so these both sides are equal and parallel. This one is equal to this one, right? So this one is opposite to this one, so it means they are equal and parallel, right? So moving on to another property of rectangle is that all angles inside rectangles are 90 degree, right? So this angle is 90 degree, this angle is 90 degree, so this angle is equal to 90 degree but it's divided into two parts by a diagonal, right? This line that intersects this angle is to be termed as diagonal, right? So this diagonal divides this whole angle into two parts, right? I have written it here. This is a original question, right? Degree A, we have named it as, its value is named as A, right? And its value is named as B. So let me first name the vertices. This is A, this is B, and this is C, and this is D, right? So now the value of angle BAC, right? BA and C is termed as, it's named as B degree. Its value, we don't know value, so we will term it as B degree, like we term in algebra, right? We don't know the value of values of variables in algebra, so what we do, we name it as X, Y, or Z. Same is the case here. So value of angle ACD is A degree. Here we don't know its value, so we have, that is what we have to find out. Now I told you that if you memorize laws, if you remember them, then it will be easy for you to solve questions like these, right? So what does the law say? That law states that all angles inside a rectangle equals 90 degree. So this whole angle is 90 degree, right? This angle will equal 90 degree. So this angle has been divided into two parts, 54 degree and 8 degree, right? So I'll write first angle, I'll write solution here, I'll write angle, this whole angle, I'll name it as BCD. Angle BCD equals angle BCA, right? Angle BCA plus angle AC and D, right? Angle AC and D, right? So this whole angle has been divided in two parts. I have written it in equation form, right? This one and this one. Now I'll put values. Angle BCD equals angle BCA. So now value of angle BCA is 54 degree, right? So I'll write this value instead of writing BCA plus angle ACD, and its value is A degree, right? We don't know its value, right? So since we know angle BCD equals 90 degree, right? Why? We have to mention the reason. Because all angles inside triangles are inside rectangle. All angles inside rectangle equal 90 degree, right? Right. So now what we will do, we'll put the value of this angle here in this equation 90 degree, and then we'll solve this equation, right? So I'll write 90 degree instead of writing angle BCD equals, I'll write 54 degree, right? 54 degree here plus A degree, right? So now what we will do is 54 is in positive terms here. We'll move this 54 to another side of equation. It will become negative. 90 degree will remain same, minus 54 degree equals 8 degree. So if you subtract 54 from 90, it will equal 36 degree. So this is what the value of A here. So since we know the value of A, we'll write it here as 36 degree, right? So now we have found the value of one angle that we had to find. Now moving on to another thing, that is this one angle, angle B degree. So now we know that inside a triangle all angles equal 90 degree, right? So I'll name it as 90 degree. This angle, this is what we are given, 54 degree. Now think of it like this, that don't you see it as a triangle, right? I'll name it A vertex is A vertex, B vertex, and C vertex, and D vertex, right? So now don't you think that this ABC is a triangle, right? This rectangle has been divided into two triangles, right? So this one is a triangle ABC. So now don't you remember any law of triangle, that is sum of all angle inside triangle equals 180 degree, right? Exactly. So this is what we have to do. We are given value of two angles, we have to find a third angle, and we know the law. So let's do it. So now I'll write it like angle BAC, that is what its value is, B degree. Angle BAC plus another angle is ABC, right? Angle A, B, and C plus another angle is BCA, right? That is angle BCA equals 180 degree, because we have to mention the reason. So sum of all angles inside a triangle equals 180 degree, right? So now this is what we are given. Now we are given the value of two angles, right? We have to find the third angle. So now we'll name it as angle BAC. We know this value, we don't know its value, but we have termed it as B degree. So we'll write B degree instead of writing BAC, right? Plus angle ABC, A, B, and C, this is 90 degree. So 90 degree plus value of BCA is 50 degree. So here it's a BCA, and its value is, instead of writing BCA, I'll write 54 degree. That will equal 180 degree, right? So now I'll write it as, I'll sum these angles both up. So B degree plus 90 and 54 equals 144 degree, and 1 equals 180 degree. So now 144 is in positive terms here. So if we take this 144 to another side of equation, it will become negative, right? So now B degree equals 180 minus 144 equals 36 degree. So that is what the value of B degree. So now let's again we solve this problem using laws, right? The first law that we use is the property of rectangle, and property of rectangle is, says that all angles inside rectangle equals 90 degree. So we know that if value of all angles inside triangle equals 90 degree, so this whole angle is equal to 90 degree. So this whole angle has been divided into two parts, A degree and 54 degree, right? So I have written in terms of equation, angle BCD is a whole degree, whole angle. It has been divided into two parts, that is BCA and angle ACD, and the value of BCA is 54 degree, and the value of angle ACD is termed as A degree. So now we know the value of angle BCD, it's 90 degree because it's a rectangle. So we will what we will do is, we'll write the value 90 degree here. So that will equal 54 degree plus A degree. So 90 degree, 54 is in positive terms here, so it will move to another side of equation and becomes negative. 90 degree minus 54 degree equals A degree. So now if we subtract 54 from 90 degree, it will equal 36 degree, exactly. So now we have found the value of A degree. We'll move to another part of question, that is the finding the value of B degree. So we have seen that this rectangle has been divided into two parts, right? Two triangles by a diagonal, right? So this seems as a triangle. So if it's a triangle, we know the law that states that all angles inside a triangle equals 180 degree. So we are given the value of two angles, 54 degree plus 90 degree. So what we will do is, we'll find the value of third angle by writing the law. Angle BAC, that is BAC, this is this one angle, right? Angle ABC, this one, the A, B, and C, this one, and angle BCA, that is this one. So we'll write the reason and then we'll put the values. BAC, we don't know the value, but we have named it as B degree, so I have written B degree. Angle ABC, we know its value exactly because it's a rectangle, so its value become equals, its value equals 90 degree. And angle BCA equals 54 degree, that is what we are given, right? And it will equal 180 degree, right? So now what we have to do is solve this equation. 90 plus 54 equals 144 degree plus B degree, right? And equals 180 degree. So this 144 is in positive terms here. So if it moves to the next side of an equation, another side of an equation, it becomes negative. So b degree equals 180 degree minus 144 degree. So if you subtract 144 degree from 180 degree, it will equal 36 degree. So this is how we'll find the value of this angle, right?